Hello everyone. Today we will continue chapter number 4, Basic Geometrical Ideas of class 6 standard. And today's topic is angles. So now let's see what are the angles and how angles are formed. When two rays originate from the same point, angles are formed. Now rays we have already discussed. Rays means there will be one end point and the other point can extend endlessly. Okay. So when two rays originate from the same point, angles are formed. Suppose that point is O. Okay. From this point we have one ray, say OA. And from the same point we have another ray, say OB. Okay, now you can see between these two rays, this is the angle and this angle is formed. So how this angle is formed? When we have the two rays with the same point. Now the same point is O, right? Now if you will see that this row OA, it has O at the end point and OB also has the point O at the end. So we can say that angles are formed when we have common endpoint. Now O is in OA also and this O is in ray OB also. That means this O point is common. So angles are formed when we have common endpoint. Now I think it's clear how angles are formed. Now, can you tell me where do you see angles in daily life? Yeah, see, suppose if you're sitting in your room. So in the room only there are so many examples of angles. Now let's try or let's discuss any one example. Suppose we have a box here, right? This example is in your NCERT also. Suppose we have a box here, okay? And this is the top of the box. And it has a lid also over it. Now can you tell me what is the position of the top of the box and the lid? Now suppose I am drawing one more figure here. This is the top of the box and lid is also over here only. Okay, both are coinciding and this is the common endpoint. This is a common endpoint. Now can you tell me whether angle is formed or not? No, angle is not formed because there is no gap between the two lines. But if in the same box, if I will open the box, I will open the lid a little. Now can you see this is the top of the box and this is the lid of the box. This is the common endpoint only. Now this distance, this angular distance is called the angle. The angle is formed. Okay, so like this there are so many examples in our daily life in which angles are formed. Now let's take few more examples. Now here, this is a wall clock. You must have seen the wall clock in your house also. Now in this wall clock we can see two hands of the clock. Okay, one is the minute hand, one is the hour hand. Now in distance, or we can say, see this hour hand we can consider as one ray because see this is the end point. Suppose this is O, this is the end point. So position of one hand of the clock is like this and position of the another hand of the clock is like this. So these are the two rays and both are originating from the same point this. That means here angle is formed. So we can see angle here in the wall clock. See, if we will change the position of the hands also, then also the angles will be formed. Suppose the position of the hands of the clocks are like this, then also angles are formed. But there are chances when both the hands of the clock are overlapping each other. For example, suppose time is 12 o'clock. So at 12 o'clock, what will happen? The hour hand will be at 12 only and the minute hand will be at 12 only. Both are coinciding with each other. Now you can see this is the common point. Now both the rays are overlapping with each other. That means we can consider it as only one ray. So if we have only one ray, then no angle will be formed. For the minimum number of rays for an angle to be formed is 2. So in this case, angle is formed in the clock. Now let's take another example. Now you can see this is the blackboard. Suppose this is the blackboard of your class, right? Now we can take any corner. We have discussed angles are formed when we have a common endpoint. Now suppose this is our common endpoint. This is O, common endpoint. Now from this common endpoint, this ray, okay, this side of the board we can consider as a ray. Okay, from this side, this we can consider as a ray. So here also angle is formed. If you want to take another corner, suppose this corner is A. From here, one side of the board we can consider as a ray. Another side of board we can consider as a ray. And here angles are formed. So like this, at all the 4 points, angles are formed. Another example, scissors you must have seen. Now you can see the blades of the scissors. Now see, this is the common endpoint. From here, one row as one blade of the scissor and another row, another blade of the scissor, and this angle. Angle is formed. Same way, if you have a book, now you can see between these two pages of the book, this is the common endpoint and this is one ray, and we can consider this as the another ray, and this is our common endpoint. So like this, we have so many examples in our day-to-day life in which angles are formed. Now we will discuss different parts of an angle. Now we know what is an angle. Angles are formed when two rays originate from the same initial point. Now the point is O. This is the initial point. From this point we have a ray OP, and from the same initial point we have another ray OQ. Now you can see this is the angle. Now angle is formed, okay, because we have two rays originating from the same point. Now, for this angle, we have different parts. Now, let's discuss the first part. It is written the initial point is known as the vertex of the angle. Now, see here in this figure, angle is formed. And what is the initial point here? O. Initial point means from this point only these rays are originating. Now, this is point O. Ray OP is originating from O point. Even the ray OQ is originating from the same point. That means this is the initial point. So this is called our vertex. So in this case, what is a vertex? O is the vertex. Now second, the two rays forming the angle are called the arms or sides of the angle. Now you can see here in this figure, this angle is formed. For this angle, we have the ray OP and ray OQ. Okay, this is ray OP and this is ray OQ. So these two rays are called the arms or sides of the angle. So here I am writing what are the arms for this angle, OP and OQ. These are the arms for these two, for this angle, or we can say these are the sides of this angle. Now next point, the symbol of angle is this. Now you can see this is the symbol for angle. Now here if you will see in this figure we have angle O. Now when we have to denote this angle, so either we can write like this angle full inverse O, or we can use a symbol angle O. Okay, so when we will write angles, so it's not convenient to write the angle word again and again, so we are using the symbol of angle. So here we have angle O, right? Now we have the most important point in this, and that point is that while writing the names of the angle, the vertex is always written as the middle letter. What is its meaning? Its meaning is, see, this is our angle. You can see this figure. Our angle is O. So either we can write angle O, or we can use these two also. P and Q also we can use. So we can write POQ, QOP. Why we are writing as POQ? Because the angle is at O. So the vertex should come as the middle letter. So O should come at middle. Here also O should come at the middle. That is only the correct way to show the angle. If we will write angle OQP, so it is wrong. O, Q and P. Q se P pe we cannot go. Okay, there is no line. So the vertex at which angle is formed, that should come in between. So angle is forming at point O here in the figure. So O should come in between. So either we should write angle O or angle POQ or angle QOP. P and Q we can interchange. Okay. So there are three ways by which we can show the angle. So these are the various parts of an angle. So till now we have discussed that angles are formed when we have two rays originating from the same point. Now what will happen if we have more than two rays originating from the same point? Now see here, this already we have discussed. This is the initial point O, and from this point two rays are originating, so angle is formed. Now we want to know when more than two rays originate, then what will happen? Then we will have different angles. Now see how. Now see, initial point is O only. We have the two rays already. Now we have one more ray. Suppose this ray is OR. Okay. Now with this ray and ray OQ, again one more angle is formed. Right. So if we have more than two rays originating from the same point, then different angles will be formed. Now you can see here two angles are forming. It's not only two, there are three angles are formed in this figure. Now let's discuss one by one what are those three angles. Now see, when we are discussing, suppose this is our angle number one, first angle, right? Now this angle, for this angle we know that O is the common vertex, and we know how to denote the angle, that the common vertex should come at the middle. So we can write it as angle POQ. It is at the middle because angle is forming at point O. No? This vertex is common vertex. So angle POQ. So this angle we have written angle POQ. Now let's see another angle. This angle is between which two rows? OQ and OR. So when we have to give the name to this angle, what we will write? Any one and you can take first, either ROQ or QOR. So I am writing angle ROQ. Now again you can see O is at the center, O is at the middle. So we have written these two angles. Okay. So angles are formed. One angle is formed when we have the two rays. But here from the same point we have three rays. So two angles are formed. But here we don't have two angles. Total we have three angles. Now we can consider this row this ray OP and this ray OR. Can you see these two rays? Now these two rays are also originating from the point O. This is the one ray and this is the second ray. That means this total angle, this is also one of the angle. Okay. Now we have to give name to this angle also. So what are the rays here? OP and OR. That means we can start from any point, either R or P. So I am writing angle ROP. It is starting from point R and it is ending at point P. So in this figure we have total three angles, and these are the names. How to denote the angle? This we have discussed in the last slide. See, we cannot write angle O, angle O, angle O for all the three angles because vertex is same. So we cannot distinguish which angle is O, whether this is O, this is O or this is O. For this we should know how to denote the angles with all the three points. So first angle is POQ, second angle is ROQ, and the full angle is ROP. So these are the three angles which are formed when we have the three rays originating from the same point. Now let's discuss different regions formed by an angle. Now we know this is our angle, okay? And this angle is formed by the two rays OA and OB. Now there are different regions for this angle. First one is the interior of the angle. As the name suggests, interior means inside portion. So the area inside the two sides of the angle is called the interior of an angle. Now you can see the two sides of this angle are OA and OB. So the area which is inside these two rays, so that means this portion. This is the inside portion of these two rays. So this is the interior of the angle. Clear? Now we have the second portion, that is the exterior of the angle. Now exterior means outside. So the area outside the sides of the angles is called the exterior of the angle. For example, this. Can you see this portion? This is outside the sides of the angles. That means it is our exterior portion. Okay. And the third one is on the angle. Now on the angle means on the sides and arms of the angle. Now you can see if I will put a dot here. So this is neither inside nor outside. This is on the angle. This is also on the angle. This is also on the angle. So there are three different divisions of the angle. For example, I am writing few points I am writing. I have written a point P. Now this point is whether in the interior or exterior or on the angle. This point P. Now you can see this point P is outside the rays forming the angle. That means it is our exterior point. So point P is the exterior point. Now suppose I am writing another point here Q. Now this Q point, you can see it is between the rays, these two rays which are forming the angle inside these two rays. That means it is in the interior of the angle. So point Q is in the interior. If I will say I am writing a point M here, see this dot. Now this dot M is neither in the interior nor in the exterior. That means this is on the angle. So point M is on the angle. So this is all about the angles.